All right, let's begin. So I will give you guys 2 to 3, like 3 minutes for this particular question. And then we are going to discuss the answers. All right. The idea is to improve your skill set so that if the same question or something similar comes, you should be able to do it correctly. We have seen that, as you already know, most of the students, they actually struggle in their reading section is just because there is no template or there is no hard and fast rules for your reading. So to improve your reading, you have to improve your skill set and you have to understand the context. So in this particular class, I will help you guys do that. I will try to improve your process of thinking and I will try to give you some sort of like grammar rules and everything so that if the same, like if you apply the same rules, you should be able to do very well over there. Okay. So just make sure that you send your answers in the chat, and then I will explain you the answers. All right, so I'll give you guys 2 minutes to do this. Then we will be back. Okay, but make sure now you are like around 34, 35 students in the class. Just send your answers in the chat. Don't be shy. Just direct message me if you want, so that I can see what mistakes you are doing and where you are lacking. Okay, so I'll give you 2.5 minutes and then I'll be back. All right, let's start. I got most of the answers. Some of you are making a lot of mistakes. Pujan, you need to improve a bit. Saboj as well, there are mistakes in this one, right? So be a little bit more careful. Okay, let's begin. Uh, okay, let's start. Most of some of you are doing good as well. SM, your answers are, I think, fully correct. Nancy, there is one, two mistakes. All right, let's see. Now, this one was little bit tricky, but not that much. Some students, what they do is when they find this question, let's say, for example, you are sitting in the exam room right now, and you got this question. When you read the first few words like post-Renaissance time, extensive, good, rectilinear, alleys, your confidence level will already been shaken. You're like, oh, I don't know. There are so many difficult words. I don't know what I will do it. It doesn't matter at all. And I have seen this happening to many students who are doing it in the exam. Remember one thing, when you go for an exam, you have to be very, very confident. Even though these words are hard, let's say even I don't know these words, still doesn't matter. Why? Because if I look at the blank, I can still get an idea. So all you have to do is you just have to get the full sense of the question, like what he actually wants to say. And then you just have to give the answer. So don't get confused. Sometimes he will do this thing just to confuse you guys or just to make you under pressure. He will use some difficult words in the passage. All right. So people will be like, oh, I don't know what will happen now. Their confidence is already shaken. So now they just start taking guesses, and that is where they lose all the points. All right. So it doesn't matter. You don't have to know each and every single word. Still, you will be able to do it correctly. Okay. He's saying that in the parks of post-Renaissance time is like sort of like Middle Ages. So it's a time when European culture was blossoming a lot. Okay. So basically, he's telling you about the parks of that time, that there were extensive woods, rectilinear alleys stretching between one vantage point to another, raised galleries. So, like basically, the parks were very beautiful. In that sense, he's saying. Later, the concept of public park was somewhat domesticated. Okay, an area dash simply to green landscape, salubrious and attractive breathing space as a relief. So basically what he's saying, he's telling you about the park. So the concept of public park was domesticated, like people start to live there. Public park is like an area dash to green landscape. What do we use? An area given to green landscape, allocating to, concentrated to. First of all, allocating to doesn't make sense. Some of you have already put allocating to, I don't know why. Like he is not using it in the continuous tense. He is not using like it's happening. All right. Like it's not something which is going on up till now. All right. So that is why I can't use an area allocating simply to green landscape. All right. The right answer here is devoted to. Okay. Devoted to is like a collocation, you can say, or with devoted, that's the only preposition we normally use. Okay. You can also use given to. Given and devoted almost have the same meaning, but devoted is like particularly that is the purpose of these parks. All right. And more academically, devoted will be making more sense as compared to given to. Okay. An area given to green landscape doesn't make sense. So basically what he wants to say is these parks, they are just allocated to, or they are just devoted to green landscape. If the word was allocated, then I might have put that. Okay. Because it's happening in the past tense, was somewhat domesticated, an area allocated to, yeah, it would have made sense. So, but I can't put ing form over there. All right. The right answer here will be devoted. Okay. Clear? With concentrated, we normally use the preposition in with that. Concentrated in or yeah, mostly we use this. We can also use to with this, but very rarely. All right. But mostly we will say concentrated in. Okay, so an area devoted to, most of you got that one correct, but still there were some mistakes. Now allocating, most of like those of you who made the mistake, they put allocated. So if it was allocated, then I would have put that ing form won't be there. Okay, clear? Now in the second one, there were a lot of mistakes. All right, but I think few of you got it right. Kamalpreet, you are correct. Jagrup was right. Amritpal, good job. He's saying that an area simply devoted to green landscape. So basically they have allocated this area to this, an attractive breathing space as a relief dash the densely populated and industrialized city of the mid 19th century. Now, most of you put 2 over here. Okay, we can't say relief against. First of all, it won't be there. We can't say relief below. We can say relief to, like, say, for example, if I wanted to talk about some communities, I will say he is providing relief to these communities or something. Or relief from, like, for example, I'm getting relief from for example, relief from poverty, relief from expensive fuel, something like that, like something I'm getting relief from. Okay, relief from economic crisis, something like that. The right answer here will be actually from, not to. Why? You are not providing. You have to look at the sentence very, very carefully. Let me raise this. To and from both will be making sense. First is devoted, second one will be from. Why is that? Because he is not giving relief to a particular person. He is saying relief dash the densely populated areas which has a lot of population and industrialized city of the mid 19th century. So if you want to live in these parks, he is giving you relief from these places. Okay, so right answer will be relief. If he is talking about relief to a certain community, then I would have put 2. Okay, but he is giving you relief from the densely population, from the industry, from the, like, from a lot of people who are living there. So basically, instead of like he is giving you relief from the very crowded places to something which is very secluded and which is very attractive, which is very green in that way. Okay, so that is why we are going to use relief from the densely populated and industrialized city. Clear? You are not giving relief to a particular person, you are giving relief from that scenario to the people. Okay, so that is why it will be relief from the densely populated and industrialized city of the mid 19th century became important. Okay, now if somewhat, like in the passage, there are a lot of sentences given, you don't have to read each and every single thing. If you want to, you can, but you don't really have to, especially in fill in the blanks reading and writing. Sometimes these sentences are very long, so you don't have to read each and every single thing. Okay, just go like the primary purpose was to provide for passive recreation, walking and taking the air in agreeable surroundings reminiscent of the unspoiled country. So basically it will provide you with the fresh air and all. What primarily dash modern park is their accommodation? What primarily means, which is like a basic focus of that, is their accommodation for active recreation. So basically their accommodation for active recreation. Look at that. What primarily dash was differentiating is in the past. Look at this word is. That means my sentence is in the present tense. Okay, I can't use was differentiating. I can never use had differentiated. I will just eliminate these 2 options very quickly. Okay, some of you have made a mistake. Now Kamal, you made a mistake in this one. The group made a mistake in this one as well. This one was very easy one. Your mind should only go to it's either differentiates or has been differentiated. Okay, the right answer where will be differentiates, because he's telling you sort of like a habit. What happens, what is like a normal feature of these parks, that these parks differentiates modern park in on the basis of their accommodation for active recreation. Okay, clear? So that is why it will be differentiates. Always look out for the tense. Look at the accent tense. If he's talking about something in the present, you have to put something in the present. Simple as that. Clear? Then he's saying that park areas differ dash from country to country, and their designs reflect differences in climate, cultural dash, social habits. Parks areas differ dash from country to country. So basically it's a difference between one country to another. So for example, in Australia, the park structure will be different from what is in the New Zealand or Fiji or something. Okay, the right answer here is now park areas differ mostly from, maximum from doesn't make sense. Acute means which is used for very swearly, in that sense we use. He's not talking about something very swear. Okay, so I can't put acutely over here. It's either considerably or mostly. Both have exact same meaning, but more academically we will use considerably. Like park areas differ considerably from country to country, like there is a significant difference between from country to country. Okay, and their designs reflect differences in climate, So basically designs give differences in climate, cultural dash, social habits, and destines. All right. Cultural what? Again, use the elimination process. Cultural belief doesn't make sense. If it was belief, cultural belief, then I would have put that one correct. Okay. Cultural emotional. What is cultural emotional? Cultural entity is also not talking about a particular entity. He's talking about cultural attitudes. How will you get an idea about that? Because it's later he is talking about the social habits as well. So what are our cultural attitudes and then social habits with commas and with and, as I told you before in my previous classes, that this is the rule of parallelism. So what is happening before and it will happen after and as well. All right. So he's talking about the attitudes, habits, some sort of like nouns are given. So you have to put a noun over there. Okay. Clear? So the first one will be devoted because devoted to, with that preposition we do that. Second one, most of you made mistake, an area dash, where it is. Yeah, as a relief dash the densely populated. So relief from the densely populated areas. So basically I want to get relief from these hard or these very densely populated, these industrialized, congested cities. So that is why I'm getting a relief from these areas and I'm moving towards the park. Okay. Third one is differentiates because he's talking about something in a very general way, talking about some sort of like a characteristic of this. Okay, what primarily differentiates modern park is their accommodation. Has been differentiated means if someone is differentiating, okay, the sentence is not given in the passive voice. All right, has been differentiated, have been differentiated will be used when you're talking about something in the passive voice. Okay, so that is why it's not giving you something in the passive. So I will put differentiates over here, which is like a generic way of saying that. Okay, and since it is in the present tense, I will use differentiates. Okay, fourth one, considerably from, again, just because of what was it? Yeah, mostly and considerably both have the same meaning. So I will just put considerably, which is more formal way of saying that. Okay, cultural attitudes because social habits, cultural attitudes. He's not talking about entity. Entity means your whole belief or your whole entity, which won't be suitable over here. And cultural belief and emotional doesn't make sense. So the attitude is the only answer which is making sense after that. And since he's talking about all nouns, like climate is a noun, cultural dash, social habits. So I will put a noun over here. That is your attitudes. Okay. Any question? Mandeep, why D is not right? I think it is correct now. Ashfaq, I think I have answered your question. An area dash simply to green landscape is the second blank, and the third is really, sorry. The first one is devoted, and the second one will be from. Okay. All right. Any questions? Any doubts in this one? Just send in the chat like how many of you like how many answers were correct in this one so that I can have an idea. I knew vaguely like where you are making mistakes and all. But okay, if you're getting one, that is not good. Anita and Ashfaq, you need to improve a bit more. Asan, you're doing good. Pinky Vidya just need to improve a bit. All right. Any other questions in this particular, any question in this particular question or any doubt if you have? All good. All right. Let's start with the next one. Try not to repeat the same mistakes. I know in the beginning you will make mistakes, but then you will get used to it. Okay. It's not belief. The word is believe. That is why I can't use believe over here. Okay. If it was belief, belief was a noun, like cultural belief. Okay, then I would have used that. All right, cultural belief, we don't use this word. For example, in the daily basis when you talk, I don't say I have this I have this cultural belief. That won't be right. So if it was belief, then it would have been correct. Okay. All right. Generally use believe. No, we say belief. BELIEF. Okay. We don't say believe with that. We don't say cultural belief. All right, cultural belief we use. Okay, if it was that, then I would have put that. Like, this is my belief, or this is my thinking for that scenario. Then I use that. Otherwise, we don't. Okay. All right. Any, if you have options, beliefs, and attitude, then which one is more suitable? Parks areas differ. Okay, let me see. Again, attitudes would be more suitable because it's talking about the habits. So I would be mostly like I'll be talking about attitudes because belief, he's not talking about your cultural belief, and that has nothing to do with your park creation. So I will say attitude, like how do I perceive my culture? So I would go with cultural attitudes. Okay. All good. As and any other questions? Any doubts in this one? Okay, let's do the next one. Try not to repeat the mistakes now. You get an idea. You are warmed up now. So make sure that the next one is better. Okay. All right, let's start with this one. I'll give you guys 2.5 minutes to do this, and then we will discuss that in detail. Okay. All right, let's start. There are a lot of mistakes in the first blank. I don't know why. I think only few of you got the first one right. 𝗵𝗀𝘁 Kaur was correct. Nancy, you were right. Good job. There were two more. I think Ashfaq was correct and Pinky, you were right. Rest, all of you made mistake in the first one. Now, as I told you, you can't use grammar blindly over here as well. Sometimes you have to look at the context of the sentence very, very carefully. All right, let's start. Now, just look at the first sentence. He's saying the first atomic bomb dash in warfare used uranium. Okay. It was dropped by the United States on Hiroshima, Japan on August 6, 1945. Now, the first one, the first atomic bomb using in warfare used uranium, that doesn't make any sense. Like, why would I say using in warfare? So something like used in warfare used uranium. Okay, it's not happening continuously. Will be used, again, he's not talking about something in the future as well. Okay, he's not talking about the future. The right answer here will be to be used. Okay, the right answer is to be used. Why it is to be used? The first atomic bomb to be used in warfare used uranium. Like, it hasn't been used yet, it will be, or that is the intention of the atomic bomb. Like, whenever, the idea what he wants to say is, whenever we are going to use atomic bomb in the war, it will have uranium. That's what he want to say. Had been used means it has already been used in the past. He is not telling you that. He is just saying, he is telling you the story that how it was used. Okay, so the right answer here will be to be used. So first atomic bomb, it hasn't been used yet. To be used in warfare used uranium. Okay, now will be used and to be used have the same meaning, but since the whole structure and the whole paragraph is in the past tense, so I can't use will be used over here. So that is why the more appropriate answer will be to be used in warfare used uranium. Okay, like the first atomic bomb to be used in warfare used uranium. But the idea what he wants to say is that whenever there will be an atomic bomb in the future, or whenever the atomic bomb is used, uranium is the main component of that. That's what he wants to say. Using atomic bomb is not using uranium. People are using it inside that. Okay, and sort of the sentence is in the passive voice, so I will say to be used over here. Okay, any questions? I think there will be questions around that, but I will explain. One more thing I have told you, whenever we talk about had been or has been, I will write it down over here. First, either they will be used in the passive voice. So note this down. Okay, has been used, have been used. Or if they're using in the active voice, there will be some sort of like a time frame which will be mentioned over here. Has been used since 2000. Have been used for the last 10 years. I think we did some other like blank the last time I took the class. I think I told you guys that as well. But write it down that whenever you have has been or had been, either it will have a time mentioned over here since 1954, for 1959, for last 2 years, for the last 10 years, for the last 100 years, something like that. Or it will be used in the passive voice. Okay, neither the case is there. Like the sentence is in the passive voice because atom bomb is not using it. To be used in warfare used uranium. So the right answer will be to be used over here. Okay, so you have to figure out the sentence structure, like in which sentence, like in which way he is using it, and then do it. Okay, I know what you guys did. Most of you saw was and you're like, okay, it's in past, just use had been used. Okay, had been used means it has already been done in the past, which is not the case for this particular question. Okay, so the right answer here will be to be used. Okay, then the next one was very easy one. I think most of you got that one correct. The explosion which had the force of dash 15,000 tons of TNT. Of extra tons, it won't be right. Of higher, with higher we always say than, higher than this. I will not say higher this. Okay, higher than, lower than, better than, superior to. Okay, so these are the words we normally use. The right answer will be more than this. If it was higher than, then I might have put that, but which had the force more than 15,000 tons of TNT. So that has a force of this. and completely devastated 11.4 square kilometers of the heart of this city of 343,000 inhabitants. So when it was dropped, a lot of people were like it affected these many people. Of this number, some 70,000 were killed dash. Killed what? Killed speedily doesn't make sense. What do you mean by killed speedily? Closely, directly. You can't kill someone directly. The right answer here will be immediately. Bomb is being dropped, so you were killed immediately. Not you were, sorry. Like people in the Nagasaki were killed immediately. And by the end of the year, closely, you can't be killed closely or directly. All right. The more appropriate answer will be immediately. Like as soon as the bomb was dropped, according to the context, they were all killed. Okay, so that is why the right answer here will be immediately. Okay. And by the end of the year, the death toll dash 100,000. So even without looking at the option, I know that it reached 100,000 or somewhere around that. Surpasses, had surpassed, could surpass, or was surpassed. Okay, both, like there are four options here. First thing, we, as I told you, in these kind of sentences, what we will be doing, I will just look at the sentence. Which tense is he talking about? Were killed. Okay, meaning it's happening in the past. So I will eliminate surpasses. It's either had, could surpass means probably it will surpass. But you already know the fact because that thing has happened in the very distant past, which is like 1945. So I can't say could surpass. Could surpass means it may surpass or may not. Like you are not sure, you are in a like 50-50 mode, or there is a probability for that. So you can't say that. All right. The right answer here will be had surpassed. Since it is happening in the distant past, I told you that in the distant past you will use has, like you will use had. Okay. So death toll had surpassed 100,000 years. So when they calculated after that time, people around like around 100,000 people were dead. Clear? Now, more than 67% of the city structure were destroyed or damaged. It was damaged. Why it is that? Because the sentence is in the passive voice. Okay. With active and passive, whenever there is was, were, you will either use ing or ed form. Active voice ing form, and passive voice you will use ed or third form of verb. Okay. Then the next atomic bomb to be exploded was of a plutonium type. Plutonium is like another element, like uranium. There is a plutonium as well. It was dash on Nagasaki on this. Now, most of you put exploded. You can't exploded on. Like, for example, when I'm dropping, I drop a bomb. I don't explode a bomb in this area. There will be an explosion in that area, but when I drop a bomb, then there will be an explosion. Did you get it? So there is a bit difference over here. To be exploded was of plutonium. It was dash on Nagasaki, which is another city. Thrown on, fallen on, no, the right answer will be dropped on. So bombs are always been dropped in these areas. Okay, so the right answer will be dropped over here. I don't throw bombs, I drop bombs. Okay, and if you look at this, it was dropped by the United States on Hiroshima. Similarly, it was dropped on Nagasaki. Okay, so the right answer will be this one. Okay, so the first one was to be used, then more than, immediately, had surpassed, and dropped. Okay, anyone who got all of these correct? Beant Kaur got it right. Good. Angad, there was first you don't read correctly. That's okay. Can you explain first and fourth? Yeah, in the first one, he wanted to say something which will happen. Okay, he's not telling you right now it is happening. The first bomb to be used in warfare. Okay, used uranium. All right, so I will just use that one. Once again, last fill up. Okay. Last will be, okay, first of all, let me explain the fourth one. In the fourth one, he's talking about the distant past, which is happening in 1945. Okay. So death toll had surpassed this. All right. Was surpassed. If it was in the passive, like, sorry, if it was in the passive voice, then I might have used that. Okay. Surpasses won't be there because it is not in the present sense. And could surpass means when you are not sure, you are probably like, okay, it might surpass this or might that. Okay, so that is why I won't use this. The right answer will be had surpassed. Dropped in the last one because you dropped bombs. Okay, you can't explode a bomb in an area. When you drop a bomb, there will be an explosion. Okay, but you can't explode a bomb. All right, that won't be right. Okay, so it was dropped on Nagasaki, producing a blast of these many things. You can't throw it as well. With the bombs, we use this word. And if you look at this, he's also using it in the beginning, like it was dropped by the United States on Hiroshima. All right, so in the same way, I will use dropped in this one. Okay, clear? Any questions? Any doubts in your first blank? There was someone who asked me the question, sir, in the real exam, options of the question will be like same or given in the portal. Mostly they will be like this in the real exam. All right. So when you look, I have like when I did the exam, I observed the same thing, and people, students also say the same thing, that when you go for your exam, there will be one option that will be making sense. All right. And like three options, if you think logically, you can very easily be able to eliminate those. All right. In the portal, it's a bit confusing, and I would say like we have deliberately do that just to prepare you guys. All right. So in the real exam, it's mostly like this. So if you are thinking a little bit logically, you don't have to worry about reading at all. Okay, you will very easily be able to get those. All right, so mostly the options will be like these blanks. All right, to be means something happened that is in the future. Okay, this is going to be this. Okay, this is going to be legendary, so I'm not sure, but it's going to be like this, like in sort of like a future way. I will like it will happen. Okay, or it's my prediction that it's going to happen like that. So that is how we use to be. All right. Okay, any other questions in this one? I hope it is clear now to you. Let's do one more, then we will move on to the next one. Now try not to repeat the same mistakes. Okay, that is the last one. So okay, wait, then why we use to be over there? Yeah, so that is why we use it, because I can't use will be used, because I can't use the future over here. All right, so that is why it will be to be. First it says to be, and then it says it was dropped. Yeah, so what's the question? So he's not talking about in the future. To be used, like it will be used, like that is what they are predicting it to be. Whatever the bomb will be there, they will use this. And now he's saying it was dropped on this one. Okay, not understand the first one. Why not? Just use the elimination process in the first one. Using won't be right. Will I can't use, because I can't make the sentence in the future tense. Okay, will be used means it's a future passive, which I can't use because the whole passage is in the past tense. Okay, it's either had been used or it's to be used. Had been used is something which is happening in the very distant past. All right, so let's say I'm making a first atomic bomb today, it had been used over there. All right, so that is why I can't use had been used. The only answer here which will be making sense will be to be used. Like whenever there will be a bomb, it will use uranium. Okay, so the first atomic bomb to be used in warfare. Okay, so whatever bomb will be used in the warfare, um, we will use uranium in that. Give another example of to be. Okay, you can say the budget is going to be very relaxing for the people, something like that, or budget is going to be very friendly. All right, the lecture is going to be very informative. All right, so something like that. All right, like you are not sure, but it's your prediction that it will be. All right, so whatever bomb will be used in the warfare, to be used uranium, so it will have uranium. Okay. All right, any other questions? Was surpassed is not used. I think it's clear, should be. Okay, good. Why not was suppressed? It's not suppressed, it's surpassed. Was, because it's happening in the distant past, which is like 1945 he's talking about. Okay, so that is why the more appropriate answer will be had surpassed. Okay, like it had surpassed because the thing which has already been done, we use has, have, had with that. Okay. So these people have been killed. All right. You already know that, and it has already been done. All right. So with has, have, had, we use these words for something which has already been done. So that is why I will use had surpassed, but not was surpassed. Okay. All right. Any other questions? Okay, let's move on to the next one. I think we spent too much time on this. All right, let's do one more. Then we will move on to this one, to the next one. Now, this one is mostly preposition based. So read after the blank, try to get an idea of it, what he wants to say, and then only select the option. No guesses or anything. This one has to be correct now. Okay. Make a sense in your mind. What is the story? And then try to solve this. Okay. I'll be like, we will start in like 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. All right, while sending the answers, try to send it directly, like in the direct message, because some students might find it distracting, because when they look at the chat, they just see the answers. Okay, so it can be a bit distracting. So most of you are sending it right in the direct message, but I want all of you to do that. Okay. All right, let's start. I think I got all the answers almost. All right, let's begin. Vary allows when inside forefront with. Okay, good job. This one, again, if we look at the grammar and if we look at the context, we can very easily be able to solve that. Okay, and most of you actually did, but in the first blank, again, there were some mistakes, right? Let me tell you, those of you who got the first one right, it's very good. That means that you are understanding the rules very, very carefully. All right, look at that. He's saying this in a new study. Okay, first thing I want to tell you is that whenever there is a sentence like this, let's say there is no blank in the first 3 lines, always read the first sentence, so that you can have an idea that, okay, what is the information he is talking about, what is the main idea behind it. That is how you will be able to improve. So always read the first sentence. He is saying that in a new study published in Nature Communications, scientists at the universities of Birmingham in UK and this and Ireland were able to identify more than 300 genes. So he's talking about more than 300 genes dash in the genome of water flea. So in the water flea, they were like around, the institute has made a research, were able to identify more than 300 genes that dash in the genome. Okay. All right, now look at that. All the options are given in the present tense. That means I have to put something in present over there. There is no ed form. There are two S form over here, differs and extends. What do we use? Okay, when there is something in the plural, we don't use SES form with that. We will just use verb first form, V1. And whenever there is something singular, we will use S or ES form. You all know that, right? Look at that. He's talking about more than 300 genes. It's more than that, right? So it means that it's in the plural form. I can't use extends and I can never ever use differs. It's either range or it's vary. Okay. The right answer here will be vary, because there are like 300 genes that vary in the genome of this. With range, we normally use from. It range from this to this. Okay. So here the right answer will be vary. So always use process of elimination. If you do that, it will make it much easier for you. And trust me, that will give you confidence level as well. When you know this blank, let's say if the same one comes, those of you got it right, you will be very confident. You're like, okay, this genes is plural, eliminate these two. That's the only option. Your answer has to be correct. And that's the confidence level which I want you guys to apply in the real exam. Okay. So those of you got it right, very good. Those of you who made a mistake, just make sure that just make sure that you don't make the same one again. Okay. All right. I may say like vary from something. We do that. Okay. We also say range from this, but that's the only answer which is making sense over here. Okay. That vary in, we say variation in or varies in, we normally use that, but you are right, like we normally say vary from as well. Okay, but sometimes the only options you have, you just have to deal with those. Okay, and that's the only one which will be making more sense. Then he's saying that these genes which dash for about 3%, which dash for, which allows for won't be right, gives up won't be right. Again, he's talking about these genes. Again, I will eliminate these two answers. So it can't be allows, it can't be this. Make for, about, or account for. The right answer here will be account for. With account, we use this preposition for. That is why we will put account for over here. Okay. Can you please, if noun is plural, then yeah, it does make sense. But remember this thing, that when we talk about the simple present tense, we say he goes to school. So whenever your subject is singular, we will always put SES form. And whenever it's plural, we will use no SES form. So here he's saying 300 genes, which is given in the plural form. So I will definitely eliminate extends and differs. So I will be only doubtful between range and vary. So out of these two, you just have to put the one which is more which is making more sense contextually. Okay. So the second one will be account, because account for is like a preposition which we use. Again, because of these genes, I will eliminate gives up and I will eliminate allows. Okay. Then he's saying this: underpin changes in behavior and life history traits that improve survival dash exposed to predators. That improve survival dash exposed to predators. Meanwhile, during, while, these are normally used when you're talking about something in a very continuous way. While it was raining, I was eating my lunch. So while doing this, during this was happening this. So mostly these all are in the something when we use when we are talking about something in a very continuous way. The right answer here will be when. Okay, when exposed to predators. So basically, these genes, they change in the behavior and life history traits that improve survival when exposed to predators. Meanwhile, during, while, these are used for something which is happening in the continuous way or which is happening right now. All right, so that is why the right answer will be when. And most of you actually got that one correct, which is very good to see. If it was dash exposure to the predators, then I might have put while, or sorry, then might have put like during the exposure or something like that, like which is happening right now. It is not when exposed to the predator. So I will put when over here. Okay. Good job for getting this one right. Then he's saying that strikingly, evolution in response to predation pressure occurs dash just a few generations. Now occurs dash just a few generations. So like something which is happening in the generation, right? Throughout just a few generation won't be right. This one is solely the context one. Okay. Occurs from just a few again won't be right. It's either inside or within. The most appropriate one or academically correct will be within. Okay. You can say inside a few generation, but inside and within the few generation, like from within themselves, context wise, it will be making more sense and it is the more academic word as well. So that is why the right answer here will be within. Okay. The research brings, now it is meditated by so-called standing genetic variation, the amount of genetic diversity harbored by a given natural population. So it's talking about the like diversity again. The research brings to the dash of science the importance of standing genetic diversity to support rapid adaptation. Again, he's talking about something in a very positive way. All right. The research brings to the dash of science, lead of science, face of science, brings to the face of science doesn't make sense. Forefront of science, like something which is in front of everyone, like it became very evident the importance of standing genetic diversity. Again, forefront won't be the most appropriate word over here, but out of these four options, that is the only word which will be making sense. Okay. You can say some other word would be more appropriate, because I personally couldn't get the sentence right, like what he wants to say. But when I was solving, only my mind was either forefront or face. You can't say face of science. Okay. Like he's not talking about the whole face of science. So that is forefront, like in front of that, sort of like a main idea. So in that way, I have selected forefront as well. Okay. But to be honest, I would say it's not a very perfectly structured sentence. Okay. But sometimes these kind of scenarios will appear. So you don't have to worry about it. You just have to select out of these four, whatever is the more appropriate one. Okay. The last one is an easy one. It also highlights that reducing the genetic diversity of natural populations has important consequences dash their ability to adopt to environmental change. Has important consequences dash their ability to adopt. In their ability, with their ability, to their ability won't be right. Okay, so the right answer will be consequences for their ability to adopt. Consequences for this, you can say consequences of as well, but of is not given over here. Has important consequences for their ability to adopt. Now some of you have put in as well. In won't be right, because you can't say in. You can say in their ability, but you can't say, if you read the whole thing, then it won't be right. Okay, so for this one, the preposition for will be making more of a sense over here. Okay. So the first one will be vary. Second one will be account. These two will be solved on the basis of the simple rule that with the singular we use SCS form in present tense and with plural we use simple form of verb. During, while, meanwhile is used for something in continuous. So I will put when over here. Next one will be within and then forefront. And the last one will be for. Okay. Any question? Why not with? Last one, again, it's a preposition based sentence. It also highlights that reducing the genetic diversity of natural populations has important consequences. With their ability to adopt to, that won't be right. Consequences for, like consequences mean effect. So effects for their ability to adopt to environmental change, that will be making more sense. With their ability, it doesn't have consequences with, consequences for. If it was off, then it would have been more sense. But again, out of these four, for will be making more. Okay. I don't know what it looks like making sense to me. Yeah. To their ability. Not really. I was doubtful personally between in and for. I was like, it's either win or for. But yeah, not two. Okay. All right. Any questions? Any doubts in this particular one? 4 out of 6. Today, all correct, Nancy. Good job. Today, you are doing good, Nancy. Keep it up. Asan, you are doing good as well. Some of you, Angad, you need to improve. Most of the times, you do well. I think today your attention is somewhere else. Good job, Chirag. Mehak, you are doing good. All right. Let's do some reorder paragraphs now. Reorders, which is like everyone's favorite. Everyone love reorder paragraph. We will do those. Don't worry too much about that. It's not that hard. And the good news is, nowadays we have seen that in the real exam, most of the students, they are getting easy reorder paragraph. If you have any experience recently, feel free to share it in the chat. But I think whatever we have heard from the students in the lab, they say like reorders are getting much easier. It's either short ones, or if you think logically, you can very easily get those right. So that is good thing for you guys. Make sure that you do those correctly. Okay. I'll give you guys 2 to 2.5 minutes. Just do that. Also, if there is anyone who has exam coming up, just send the text in the chat so that I know, and then I can see where you are lacking. And if someone gets their score, just send it in the chat as well. Okay. All right. I'll give you 2 minutes. Then we will solve this. Okay, up till now, I haven't received any answer that is correct. Okay, one answer was correct. Wait, Angad, you got it right. You are the only one. Good job. Rest, try to improve your answers again. I'll give you a little bit more time. Just try to correct those. Okay, there are mistakes. All right, let's start. First of all, most of you made a mistake in the standalone sentence, first of all. Okay, let's see that first. Some of you were asking me about the process or the strategy for this. You have to attend the strategy class of reading before attending these classes so that you know what are the main strategies that we will be solving. That we will be using. And then this class is basically the practical, you can say, application of those strategies that we have heard or that we have learned in the strategy class. Okay, so that is what we are going to do over here. All right, so first thing first, these are very tricky to do. Yeah, I know. Okay, first thing, let's see, when we will read all of these four sentences first, we have to come up with the first sentence, right? Which is your standalone sentence, which is like a topic sentence. When you read this, you are like, okay, I don't need any other information, so that would be your first one. Okay, he's saying that growing season also varies according to elevation above sea level, with higher elevations tending to have shorter growing seasons. Also varies. That means it can't be my first one. That means I need some previous information for that. Growing season, also called frost-free season, period of the year during which growing conditions for indigenous vegetation and cultivated crops are most favorable. It could be my first one. Why? Because he is defining what is growing season. It is also known as this, and it is actually the period of the year during which growing conditions for indigenous vegetation and cultivated crops are most favorable. So basically, in the time when the conditions are more favorable, these are known as growing season. Okay, but I'm not sure. I will read the next one. In equatorial and tropical regions, the growing season. Look at the article rule. If you have attended the strategy class, you know the article rule that a will come first and the is used when you are talking about the exact same thing or when you are talking about the same thing later on. So the growing season, the is used for something which is particular, a is used for something very generic. Okay, remember, in the reorder paragraph, your flow of information will be like this pyramid. Okay, your first sentence will be a very generic one, then it will move to something a little bit more specific, then more specific, and then most specific. Okay, so the flow of information will converge like this. First, C saying the growing season, so that means it can't be my first one as well. It usually becomes shorter. What is it? I don't know, so it can't be my first one as well. So reading all these four, I'm pretty sure that my first answer will be option B. So I will say growing season, also called this period of the year which grow this. Up till now, I only know that this is sort of like a time period of the year where vegetation grow quickly. Growing season also varies. Also, what he must have tell me something first, then I will use also. Now it's either C or D. The right answer here will be option D. Why is that? Because it says it usually becomes. Who is it? It is that period of the year. Okay, so he is referring to period of the year as it usually becomes shorter as distance from the equator increases. Now he's talking you about the equators and stuff. What becomes shorter? That period of the year where the crops will grow more, that will become shorter more you move away from the equator. So if you move away from the equator, so equator is, if I can draw it, I think I'm right, it's in the middle of that. When you move away, like here or there, then you will be reaching around North Pole and South Pole. So the condition will be very difficult, meaning the growing period or vegetation will be very difficult for you to do. But if you are living near the equator, it will be much easier. All right. So that's what he want to say. When you look at the word here, it usually becomes shorter. So that is why I will put B and D together. Now, most of you will be tempted to put this, but he hasn't mentioned any equatorial or tropical region and all that. When he talks about the equator increases, like distance from the equator increases. Now he's saying, like in contrast to this, becomes shorter in the equator region if you move away, but in equatorial and tropical region, the growing season ordinarily lasts overall, whereas in higher altitudes, the tundra, it may last as little as 2 months or less. Okay, so I will put C over there because first he will tell me about what is happening. If you move away from the equator, it's this, and if you move near equator, then that. Sort of like an example is given in option C, that equatorial and tropical regions, it will have more, and if you move away higher altitudes like North Pole or South Pole, it will have very few months, even 1 or 2. The last one will be that A, that growing season also varies according to the elevation above sea level. So it varies according to this distance from the equator, and it varies according to the elevation from the sea level. Okay, so the right answer here will be B, D, C, and A. Okay, most of you put B and C together. Again, just because of this, first he will tell you the full thing, and then he will give you like an example. First, he is telling you it depends on the distance of this. Then he's giving you an example like equator and tropical regions, it will have last all years, but this one, it will be like this. Okay, so the right answer here will be B, D, C, and A. All right, it is a bit tricky, but try to get it right. Okay, all right, let's just quickly do the second one. Okay, that's a bit easy. Okay, so try to get all of these correct. All right, I'll give you like 2 minutes to do this, then we will start with the blanks. That's fine, even one pair is right, don't worry too much about it, try to focus on this one. All right, let's start with this one. Now, see, you say the first one was a bit hard, but now in this one, almost all of, like most of you got the answer right. Okay. So it depends. Don't worry about even if you make one mistake or one question in a wrong way, computer won't be assessing you on that. All right. So computer will be assessing you on the overall answers that you will be getting correctly. Just give me 2 more minutes. I'll be back. Just send your answers. I'll be there. Okay. Just 2 minutes. All right, let's start. As I told you, most of you got this one correct, which is like a very good thing to see. Now, how many marks these certain in total? It depends on total number of questions which you are getting. If you are getting more, then the points will be more. But on average, you can say like around 8 to 10 points will be because of these. Okay. All right, let's start with this one. Where is it? All right. Process, we will be following the same thing. First thing, we will read the question first. All of these options. Okay. First is saying that red giants are very large and luminous stars that always reach the same peak brightness before fading. Okay. Can you guys hear me properly? I think I have unmuted myself. Okay, good. All right. So red giants are very large and luminous stars that always reach the same peak brightness before rapidly fading. All right. It could be my first one. He's defining what is red giant. So it could be my first one. Okay. But I'm not sure because I haven't read the next ones. Then he's saying that the first version of this calculation. What do you mean by this calculation? I don't know. So it can't be my first sentence. All right. Look out for the words like this, then, them, there, such, these, etc. These words, they are very important when you are solving these reorder paragraph. Okay. Third one, he's saying the key question is how accurate those measurements are. What do you mean by those measurements? I'm not sure. That means it can't be my first one as well. Clear? Then he's saying if scientists can accurately measure the actual or intrinsic peak brightness of the red giants, they can then measure the distances to their host galaxies. Okay. Again, look at that. The red giant. So that means it can't be my first one as well. What is the first sentence? I will just put A, that he is defining the red giant. So red giants are very large and luminous stars that always reach the same peak brightness before rapidly fading. So I will just put A over there. Now, when I put A, let's just eliminate all of these. The first version of this calculation, has he mentioned any calculation over here? No, he hasn't. So I can't put this over here. Those measurements, did he talk about any measurements? No, I haven't. He is just saying that these are the stars that always reach the same peak brightness before rapidly fading. Then the right answer will be option D, that if scientists can accurately measure the actual or intrinsic peak brightness of red giant, they can then measure the distances to their host galaxies, an essential but difficult part of the equation. So when they measure the actual or intrinsic peak brightness, then only they can do that. Okay. Now he's talking about all the measurements and he's talking about all the distances. They can measure the distances. The key question is how accurate those measurements are. What do you mean by those measurements, which he has mentioned in option D? So I will put C over there, but difficult part of the equation, then I will put B, the first version of this calculation. What do you mean by this calculation, which is mentioning over here? Vary a galaxy to calibrate the giant star's luminosity. So the right answer will be A, D, C, and B. Okay. Most of you got that one correct. There was some mistake in B, C, and CB. That is why the right answer will be CB. Okay. Look out for the words like those, them, these, there, etc. They are very important in your reorder paragraph. Okay. All right. Any questions? We are running a little bit behind the time. So let's start with the fill in the blanks now. I will give you guys 2 minutes to do this. I want you to do more of these. Then we will be fine. Okay, so let's start with this one. Now we will be doing fill in the blanks, reading. Let me just put those, and then we are going to discuss those. Okay. All right, I'll give you 2.5 minutes. Follow the exact same rules which we were talking about in the beginning of the class. Trust me, same rules will be used in all of these questions. Okay, so I'll give you 2 minutes, then we will begin. All right, let's start. I got very less answers, so I think only 10 of you have already sent your answers. So just send it quickly. I know you will be tired by this time, but just try to be. I think from tomorrow, what I will do is I will put these blanks first, and at the end we will do reorder paragraphs. So even if you are tired, we will make sure that we do those correctly. Okay. All right, let's start. Yeah. Okay, first he's saying that floriculture. What is floriculture? He will give you the example of like the definition of this. Branch of ornamental horticulture concerned dash growing and marketing flowers. Okay, concerned dash. There has to be some preposition with that. You can't say concerned, usually concerned thought. It's either by or it's either with. Okay, concerned with is the collocation or the preposition that we use with this word. Okay, so concerned with. So I will just put with over here. We don't say concerned by growing and marketing, we say concerned with. Okay, so just remember this. Certain prepositions go with certain words. So just keep that thing in mind. All right, so we will say concerned with, we don't say concerned by growing and market. So basically, what is floriculture? A branch of ornamental horticulture concerned with growing and marketing flowers and ornamental plants dash with flower arrangement. So he's talking about different items which are involved in this. So growing and marketing flowers, ornamental plants dash flower arrangement. Okay, the right answer will be, what is the connecting word over here? To be grown, considered. It's either however or as well as. As I told you guys before, that however is used when you are talking about something in a very opposite way. So let's say he's talking about completely positive in one sentence. When he wants to talk about completely negative, he will use however. Okay, here he is not talking about that. He is just saying that it concerned with growing and marketing flowers, and ornamental flowers means like a ornamental plants dash with flower arrangement. The right answer here will be as well as with flower arrangement. Okay, so marketing the flowers and ornamental plants as well as with flower arrangements. Okay, so the right answer here will be as well as. Okay, now always look at the sentence in which way he is saying, then only try to do it. Okay, so the right answer is as well as. Okay, then, because flowers and potted plants are largely produced in plant growing structures in temperate climates, floriculture is largely dash off as a greenhouse industry. Largely dash off. You can't say considered off. If there was not off, then I would have put considered. Some of you have put considered off over here. We can't say this word. We do not say largely considered off as a greenhouse. That won't be making sense. The right answer here will be thought of. Okay, thought of means considered, meaning is the same, but with of we use the word thought. If there was no of given, then I would have put floriculture is largely considered as a greenhouse industry. Then it is making perfect sense. But I can't say considered of as a greenhouse industry. That would be a grammatical error. So I have to use another word, and only other word which will be making sense will be thought of. Okay, so I will put thought of over here. Okay, clear? So always read the text after the blank. That is very important. When you read after the blank, you will get an idea that what information you are looking for, and then chances of you finding the right answer will be more. Okay, then he's saying that both the production of bedding plants and the production of cuttings dash in greenhouses. Cuttings dash in greenhouses or for indoor use as house plant. Something, now he's talking about all the cultivation of these, right? Production and all that. Production of cuttings dash in this. The right answer here will be, because he's growing it, the right answer will be to be grown. Okay, so here the right answer will be to be grown. I think most of you got that one correct. Since he's talking about the production of bedding plants and the production of cuttings to be grown in greenhouses, like it will be grown in the greenhouses. So greenhouse is basically something, for example, it's sort of like a box or something. Light can come in, but it doesn't go out. All right, so it will trap all the light. All right, and increase the temperature of that. Okay, so that is why that is sort of like a greenhouse. So cuttings to be grown in greenhouses, like indoor for indoor use of houseplants are dash considered part of floriculture, are dash considered somewhat like it's not sure, but it is also a part of this. So the only word is usually, that usually a part of considered part of horticulture, floriculture, sorry. So the first one will be concerned with, that will be the first one, concerned with, because it's sort of like a preposition. Okay. Second one, ornamental plants dash with flower arrangements. Okay, as well as with flower arrangements, because he's talking about different items. He's talking about the marketing flowers, he's talking about the growing flowers and ornamental plants, as well as this one. Okay. Third one will be option. This is largely dash off, largely thought of. That will be the third one. Fourth one, and the production of cuttings dash in greenhouses, to be grown in the greenhouses, because you can't say considered in greenhouses or however is used for something when you're talking about completely opposite. Okay, so that is why I can't put however over here. Okay, as houseplants are dash considered, are usually considered part of floriculture. Okay, so the right answer at the end will be usually. All right. First fill up why it is not the answer. What is the first? Considered with? Yeah, considered with is like a, you can say it's a collocation, and with the preposition concerned with we use. We don't say concerned by. Just remember this thing, few words, they will always go together. I will always say preferred to. I will always say superior to. I will always say better than. Okay. Similarly, I will always say engage in. Similar to that, I will say concerned with growing and marketing flowers. So that is like a collocation. Out of these options, only that one will be making sense. Third one, thought of, because if you put considered of, that won't be right. If there is no of over there, then I would have put considered. Like floriculture is largely considered as a greenhouse industry. That's perfect. But when it says of, then I have to look for another word. And the only other word which will be making sense will be thought of. Like thought of, like floriculture is also being thought of or like considered as greenhouse industry. Like you can take it as a greenhouse industry. So that is why it will be thought of. All right, that's why it will be not considered. Okay, just because of this of, I can't put considered over there. All right. Okay, let's do one more. From tomorrow, what we will be doing, we will be doing reorders at the end, so that I can spare more time on these ones. All right. Okay, let's do this. Try to use process of elimination in this one. For example, let's say if you're not sure about the first answer, leave the first one. Try to do the second, third, fourth, and fifth. Then come back to the first one to get your answers right. Because if you follow that elimination process in this, you can get this correct. Okay. So I'll give you like 2 minutes again. Let's just try to solve that. This one is actually very easy one. So think logically, you can very easily get all of these correct, right? That's the easiest one. So make sure don't make even a single mistake in this. All right, good job in this. I think most of you got that one right. This one, you can't make a mistake. All right. So if you're looking at the rules properly, I'm pretty sure you can easily do this one, right? Let's see the first one. He's saying the 𝗪𝗂𝐴 baboon project started in 1971 is one of the dash running studies of wild primates in the world. One of the dash. I told you guys that whenever we have the, there will be a superlative degree after that, like est form. He is the best. Okay. One of the, on, over, larger. It's either larger or it's longest. Which one is the more appropriate with the? As I told you, we have to use this. So the right answer here will be longest, of the longest running studies. So basically, this is the baboon project. Baboon is like type of a monkey, wild primates in the world. So that study is taking care of, like it's reviewing wild primates in the world. Focused on the savanna baboon, the project is located in the 𝗪𝗂𝐴 ecosystem in East Africa, north of Mount Kilimanjaro. Okay, so basically that is where the location of the study is, and that is where that ecosystem is. Research teams dash hundreds of baboons in several social groups. Now, look at this one. Okay, let me raise all of that. I know that the first one is longest. Look at the second one. Research teams. Again, we know that teams is something in a plural form. Now look at the sentence, in which way he is talking about. Is it in present or is it in past? If you can't figure out from this one, look at the previous one. It says is located in this. That means that this sentence will be in the present tense as well. All I have to do is I just have to select the present one. It's either had been tracked or it's have tracked. Okay. Had been is used with the past, so I can't use that. Research teams, it's plural. I cannot say observes. Okay, like for example, I can't say observes over here. So research teams dash hundreds of baboon in social groups. Okay, so the right answer will be have tracked. Okay, so the right answer here will be have tracked. So it has already been happening because the study has already been taking place. So that is why it will be have tracked. I can't use had been tracked. That would be wrong. All right. Again, most of you, I think almost all of you got it right, which is very good. All right. Then in several groups, dash the course of their entire lives. He's talking about the course of their entire lives. Okay. On the course of their entire life, over, in, off. What do we say? Over the period of time we use that word, right? Here as well, we will say over the course of their lives. All right. So the right answer will be option over, which will be your third one. Okay. Again, you can see the significance of reading the text after the blank. If you don't read the text after the blank, it will be very difficult for you to get the answers right. All right. So you always have to look at it, always read after the blank. Now he's saying researchers currently, so that is happening now, it is happening presently. Researchers currently dash around 300 animals. Again, everything is happening in the present tense, right? Researchers, we have already discussed this rule. Whenever there is plural, we will use first form of verb, and whenever there is something singular, we will use s or es form with that. Okay. Here he is talking about researchers currently. It's either monitor or it's observes. I can never put observes because it's researcher. It's something in plural form. So I will just put monitor, which has to be the right answer. Rest, not any word is making sense. Had been is used in the past. Larger won't be right. Did you get it? So that is how you will use process of elimination. All right. Researchers currently monitor around 300 animals, but have accumulated life history information dash more than 1500 animals. So information of more than 1500 animals. Okay. So the right answer will be of this. Clear? So the first one, life history information of more than 1500 animals. So the first one will be longest, then have tracked, over, monitor will be the fourth one, and off will be the fifth one. I think most of you got it right, which is very good. Observe. See, the word is not observe, it's observes. So you can't write observes in the last one, like life history information observes more than 1500 animals. That won't be right. Okay. So the right answer here will be this one. Yeah, but have accumulated life history information of more. So basically they accumulated the information of 1500 animals. So that is the only proposition which will be making sense with that. Information of, we don't say information in more than 1500 animals or information on 1500 animals. The right answer will be of. So we are getting information of this. Okay, so in that way it will be information of. Okay, clear? Any questions, any doubts in this one? So this one was an easy one and most of you got that one correct, which is a very good thing. All right. Now, any questions or any doubts in your fill in the blanks? Now, I put monitor in the second blank and have tracked. I got confused. Yeah. Because see, because of this word currently here in the fourth blank, which means that it is happening now, like it's currently. Okay. So that is why I will put monitor over here. And in that one, have, has is used with something which is already done. So if I can speak in Hindi, have is used with something which is already happened, like kar chuka hai. For example, you have eaten something, I have already eaten that. It has happened already. So that is where we use has and have. Research teams have tracked hundreds of animals, like they have already done that. Okay. So that is why, and this is happening currently. So that is why I will put monitor, which will be the first form of verb. Okay. Any questions, any doubts in this one? Now, if you have any confusion or anything you want to ask for the regarding the exam, let me know. Those of you who are attending their first class today, first of all, I will address you guys. Try to attend at least one session a week, more the better. It is sort of like your practice, but the idea which we want to convey is so that you can see how I am thinking the question, and that is how you will think as well. All right. So because we also solve the question in the real time, so we know that, okay, what are the difficulties which you might face. So I'm hoping that you won't face it in the real exam. One more thing, just remember that make sure that you have already attended the strategy class so that you can apply all the strategies over there. In the portal, there is an option of video explanation available as well for every fill in the blanks. I think it's not available for the totally new ones, but for the old ones, it's there. Watch those videos. Sorry. Watch those videos. That will also give you an idea that, okay, how you are going to solve these questions. Okay, so the video explanation is there. There are resources available to for you guys to improve your reading. Okay, so make sure that you utilize all these resources. Finish all the exam questions for your fill in the blanks, and for your reorder paragraph. For the reorder paragraph, you can just do the prediction questions from the portal. Okay. All right, Shivali, you have exam coming up. The best way to is just to practice, watch the practice videos as well. Attend these classes and try to apply the same rules. So in today's class, you have learned the rules about the preposition, you have learned the rules about grammar, you have learned SES rule. Same rules will be used again and again. And those students who have been attending classes, they know that the same rules will be used again and again. So that's the only way you will improve. And Shivali, make sure that your read alouds are correct. Try not to make any mistakes in the content of your read aloud. My exam will be held on 28th. Good luck, Nancy, for your exam. Time management is the issue. Try not to spend any time on multiple choices. Just put C and click next. And try to make sure that you spend time on the fill in the blanks. Even for the reorders, try to do it quickly. If you are looking to get 7 each, just let me know, Nancy, you're looking to get 7 or 8. Also, Shivali, are you looking? I think you're looking to get 7 each. So try to spend time on the blanks and try to do those very quickly. In which class you teach grammar rules? So grammar rules, there is a video available of 𝗵𝗵 ma'am in the portal. When you go to the portal front page dashboard, when you go down and you click reading, there is a video of grammar rules. So try to watch that. Yeah, grammar rule video is there. So when you just log into your portal, it's right there on the first page of your dashboard. All right, so you can watch that video. That would be very helpful. I think my video is not there. I think 𝗵𝗵 has made that. Treatment of exam on Friday. Yeah, just send me your login details. I will have a look. 𝗵𝗵 will not teach us. Nah, she will be there from tomorrow. I know you guys are missing 𝗵𝗵 ma'am. She is the best one. So I think she'll be here. She should be there tomorrow. Okay, so she will be taking the reading class. All right. Any other questions? Any doubts? All right, that is it for today's class. Have a good one. A grammar rule video is there on the portal, first page. When you go to the, when you go to the, when you go to the dashboard, it's right there on the first page. So you can just watch that. So it's under the reading section. It's a 𝗵𝗵 ma'am's video, all right? Okay, that is it for today. Thank you so much for attending the class. I hope you learned something. I will see you guys very soon. Best of luck with your exam. Thank you.